in the washing machine. A bit of dirt came out of it, but I washed it.
Get me in a
That is sounding. And you.
Yeah.
What is that? That one. Loaded. That's our pencils.
Oh yeah.
Where are we gonna go now?
What? Oh, what do we?
So we're gonna get in the order of the game. So how do we do? Now we must go to a planet. Should we? Should we or not? Should we go to? Should we go to a
Yeah, we
planet
can.
or not? Okay, let's go.
I rent that money.
Oh, did you? For the crystal. That's
Then.
why we should have got it now.
And it's
Yeah.
no. Something a broadcast is own like us. And when we got SOS there, planet itself is worthless. Investigate. Build tanker. Oh. Rescue get you back. Oh, I don't like this spider. This thing. The gun is how many hands it's got. That's
You can't sleepy again. Ha! Silly cat. A goody answer.
oh what? Can't go. Kill me.
Yeah, and maybe we run out of fuel.
Yeah.
We got it that one, so we got that one.
Let's go. Thank you. Yes, that's right.
Saying hello. That's not how you say hello. You
Super
say
light
hello
storm.
like this.
Okay.
Hello. That's what how you don't say hello.
15. And see. Alright, let's grab. Go to this. Oh, look at that. T-shirt harvest operation.
Hello.
T-shirt only leave this planet untouched. Okay. Moving tentacle. Oh, hello. Where it's going? And our female crew member down there. 7. Oh, nice. Noise. Noise. Good one, mate. Hey, excuse me. Thank you. That isn't it.
The kitten's right. There were people, but he's right on the kitten. Yeah.
I had to dumb that. Oh yeah. Ooh, tomato. Harvest, please. 91 fuel. Alright, time to. Why don't I have enough fuel? What's going on? Oh no. How many?
6 of them.
How many? Count with me. Okay, well, not then, isn't it?
Way.
Say it again.
That's way.
Good. Ugly Mongo. What should we do? I don't think we find him. What? Alright. Show them who the boss is. Where's the EMP?
We're gonna say goodbye to Loud.
No. Ow. Where's the EMP?
Bye bye, Sippy. I will miss you.
Oh dear. Can't see the EMP. Hang on.
Hang on. And it.
We're missing a gun. But we go here. What?
First, I'll bicycle. Wait. Come on. Go to the bicycle. Go to the bicycle. 1, 2, 3. Look at that one. That's very cool, Daddy. But not cooler than our one.
Oh. I sit. What is that on there? Big is big, isn't it?
What?
I know.
Look up ahead. Someone shoot it, please, please.
Should. People, why you staying? You wake up too.
Can I see it?
Yeah, there's. Come on, repair people.
Hi.
Hi.
Go down there and do it again. Hi, what is that, people?
Oh look, shoot that! Somebody shoot it! Oh no, oh no, it's coming for us. Oh no, how many? Hey, boom! Fire! A big fire. Kind of fire. Oh, repair. Who coming? Anyone coming for us?
Maybe that's the down one.
That one. Crap. Oh, more coming. Go repair. What?
It's gone past our goodie card. It's gone at the top there.
And who's gonna control this one?
We got a rat. Goody. Good rat. Coming right.
Oh, some. Shoot him now! Somebody shoot him. Are you
He's
doing?
going in full motion.
And shoot. Why can't you shoot?
No, he's going in full motion.
Oh,
And
no.
that guy. Nah, they won't get us. They're in full motion.
Honest.
No, that guy's in full motion. And that planet.
Alright, one.
And that tree. What? Who's a bad guy? Pooh. Battery. Kissing. It's coming.
Fire? It's fire. Oh no. Go put out fire, please. Get fire. Fire.
Yes.
Right, mate. This is our last battle, yeah? Somebody come out now. Come on. Focus, people. What are focus on your job.
We're gonna say bye bye.
I don't want to do that thing.
Me either.
Oh, good. Then don't say bye bye to our ship then. What? Oh. Blow up our. I don't know. Was it here? Blow up something. I don't know.
Oh, more walking, more walking.
I know. I know.
That's Conqueror. Let's start out.
Oh, what is he doing in there? Somebody catch him. Oh, come on, careful. Run away. I'm losing them. What are you guys doing in here? Wait.
Oh, more fire!
Oh, fire. Hey. Fire.
We need fire, mate.
Careful, please.
Oh, my need fire, mate. Oh no! Oh no!
More.
Oh!
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, now they read the system. But EMP. Ouch. What injury? What is it? EMP all day long.
Whoa! Red
Uh,
hat! Going for a pack. Oh. A pack.
This battle costs us only
Yes.
you know that?
Maybe we just do one.
I think we win the day, but it costs a lot.
Good too.
Yeah.
But let me see the other one.
Yeah, we got them. Costs us a lot though.
Did you get the top one? Did you get the top one?
Yeah, I did. So much extra. Ridiculous. 20 AMP. Wow. What is it? Done.
What is he doing? What is He's figuring out how. not in position.
Come on. Save some fuels. There you go. Alright, we do this sale and then we go to bed.
Bye, people.
Done. Let's go to bed. Good morning. Afternoon.